Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. It's Thursday morning, and this is Thursday Morning Live. Welcome. Glad that you're here this morning and chiming in. What are you working on these days? I'm always curious as to what people are working on, and more importantly, what are you being intentional about? Our intentionality in everything that we do is so crucial and so important, right? Are you being intentional about your workout in the morning, your spiritual time? Are you being intentional about your prospecting time, being diligent in those aspects? What exactly are you working on? Well, this morning I have a guest I'm going to bring on that is pretty intentional about the things that he does, and I think as we talk through that this morning, you'll understand that. I'll introduce him in a minute. What I want is to say, hey, if you're new to the show this morning, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. And I would encourage you to follow us on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook, wherever you are. If you're on Facebook, join our community there at Multifamily Unplugged, where we are always bringing real estate content to you, new events coming up. Speaking of events, October 19th and 20th, if you haven't booked your spot or gotten your ticket, you want to go jump over and go to multifamily23.com. My fourth annual multifamily virtual event is coming up. I have 15 great speakers and panelists this year. We are going to cover a lot of ground in 2 days, that's for sure. And I know if you're new to the business and you're looking for some insight, if you're in the business and been there for a while and you're looking for a shot in the arm, either way, you're going to get your fill there. But if you're on social media, like us, love us, follow us. We're always bringing out great content, new events, things coming up for you to participate in. Glad that you're here this morning. My guest this morning is Jason Lassiter. And Jason is joining us from Kansas City, Missouri. He's a real estate investor. His company is K&L Industries. Let me pop him in here real quick. Jason, good morning.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited you're here, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me on the show.
Yeah. So, hey, just before the show, you asked me, hey, I was telling you about one of my good friends who lives in Kansas City and how I haven't been neglectful in getting there to see him and how I need to get there. And you said, have you ever been to Kansas City? So, let me ask you this real quick. What would make somebody want to go to Kansas City other than Mahomes?
Well, Kansas City has a lot of different cities around Kansas City. Like you have Prairie Village, which is one of the hottest markets right now in real estate. I'm actually working on a property there right now to flip. And Kansas City has a rich history of jazz, music, and it's just a great place to go to. I'm actually from New York, and when I moved out to Kansas City, it was back in 2006, and I was just going to stay in Kansas City just for 6 months, but I could not believe, Mike, when I moved out here, the cost of living, the taxes, the insurance, the housing prices, I couldn't believe it. They were compared to New York, extremely low. So I ended up staying out here, and I've been out here since 2006.
Yeah, good for you.
While being out here, I flipped over 100 houses and wrote a bestseller book called Work 9 to 5 and Flip on the Side.
Wow.
So I've still been flipping.
Love that title.
It's actually on Amazon, and this is the book called Work 9 to 5 and Flip on the Side by Jason Lassiter. Lessons learned from flipping over 100 houses.
Nice. Wow, great. Jason, how do I get a signed copy from you? Do I just drop my address in the chat?
Yeah, and I can mail you one. Absolutely, Mike.
And then I'll mail you mine too. So
that sounds great.
Hey, listen, when I start this show, all my podcasts, I always start with the same question. I never, early on when I started these, I scripted everything. And, I learned that it's easier just to kind of go natural and off the cuff, right? And
Mm-hmm.
just kind of allow people to, participate in a more relaxed kind of environment. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, one question I always ask my guests on all my podcasts, and if you're here this morning, great. I also have a podcast, Insider Secrets, where we're always exploring in depth multifamily investing. And Saturday mornings, Multifamily Unplugged, which again is Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn. But one question I always ask is, in one word, what best describes you personally and professionally?
Perseverance,
Mm.
yeah, perseverance. Just really sticking to what I'm doing, really being disciplined, learning through a lot of obstacles. When you're, as you know, flipping houses is probably one of the hardest in real estate to do.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with contractors, rehab crews, unexpected things that pop up. Um, and not only have I flipped homes, I've been a business, entrepreneur as well. I've invented some products. I wrote a children's book as well. So just, I've learned to train my mindset better. I usually wake up at 4 a.m., meditate and pray and just been working on my mindset much better, much more nowadays.
Yeah,
Uh,
interesting.
yeah.
So here's what I like is, hey, that echoes back.
You hear the echo again?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, so here's what I really admire about you is you're not just a real estate guy. You have an entrepreneurial mindset. And I really think in the real estate business, you have to have that entrepreneurial mindset because you have to run it like a business, right? I think a lot of
Right.
people go into flipping or, they think real estate is going to be easy, but, perseverance, right? We know that it's not easy and you need to persevere. Where do you think in your life that perseverance came from?
I think it came from when I was, as a child. Um, I used to play sports. I was involved in sports, and I ran cross country. I ran, I played basketball. So being in sports, I think helped me to kind of be determined and motivated to be better. You know, I played point guard when I was playing on my high school basketball team. So I've always wanted to be quicker and and much better than everybody else. So I think that kind of motivated me. And then my father, he was an entrepreneur, and I used to work for him in New York City, in the Bronx, New York, and he had his own automotive car shop where he used to repair cars. So in the summertime, I would work for him and save up to buy my school clothes as a teenager. So, following my father's work ethic, and then my grandfather had a high work ethic. At 92 years old, he would always be outside, working around the house, just to keep him going. And I think looking at those two individuals, it really helped me with my work ethic um, to really, in order to get what I want, to work hard, you know.
Yeah, I think. Do you think that work is something that you are born with, or it's something that's developed and maybe even passed down from generation to generation?
That's a great question. I think a combination. I think some of it is part of being born with it, and also developed as well.
Yeah. One thing I always say is I might not be the smartest guy, but damn, I'll outwork you for sure.
That's the
It's
main
nothing.
thing, yeah. Because somebody may not have the talent, but or the skills, but if they're willing to have determination and motivation to get what they want, then regardless of what the talents you may have, if you have that motivation, that passion, then there's nothing stopping you, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Hey, I know you're working on a couple projects right now. Let's talk a little bit about what you're working on.
Sure. So I also wrote a children's book called Cowboy Joe, and this was about perseverance as well. On the back, it talks about who I am, you know, real estate investor, business owner. And this was my first children's book. I didn't even, you know, I'll tell you what inspired it. So
Yeah, I
I
want to know
invented this. Yeah,
what
I invented
inspired
this
you to
talking
write it.
elephant. I invented this talking elephant called Cowboy Joe. And people would say to me, it talks. So I pressed the ear, it talks. So
Oh,
when I would show
that's
people,
perfect.
the elephant, they would say, Jason, does it come with a book? I said, no. I said, oh, I don't have a book, but that's a good idea. Maybe I can write a children's book. So back in December, I ended up writing the children's book. So it's on Amazon as well. And then I just been selling the talking elephants on a website and through word of mouth. But again, Mike, perseverance, right? It just talks about the Cowboy Joe going through obstacles, name calling and things like that. You know, people telling him he couldn't do it, but he goes through these challenges and he perseveres, and he becomes a big influence in the community. You know, you'd have to read the book to understand, but that's what it's about.
Yeah. So
You see me with these Cowboy Joe hats, you know, I ended up getting a Cowboy Joe hat.
that's why isn't your company bad echo again? Why isn't that uh, why isn't your company called Cowboy Joe?
Yeah, I do have an LLC called Cowboy Joe
Oh, you
LLC.
do?
I do.
Okay. That doesn't surprise me. It doesn't
And I have a
surprise me.
website called cowboyjoe .us. Cowboyjoe.us. It's a website that has the books um and the elephant on there.
Yeah. You know, I think that's really cool, the whole children's book thing. Do you have kids?
I have one 11-year-old. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what did he think of the book when he read it?
Oh, he loved it. He actually took it to school with him, and the teacher sent me a note saying they awesome job with the product in the book, and they were very inspired by it. You know, my son actually ended up reading it to the class,
Nice.
so they all liked it.
Wow, that's
You
cool.
know, they all liked it. Yeah.
So let's talk real estate a little bit. What are you working on real estate wise?
So right now I have a package deal that I'm actually either going to refinance or sell. I have 15 house package deal right now. About 13 of the 15 is rented right now. They're all in Kansas, around Kansas City, Missouri. I also have a shopping mall, Mike, that I've been telling you about up in Trent, Missouri. It's 11 units. The anchor is Dollar General.
Okay.
I'm working on the refinance of that shopping mall. As far as rehab projects goes right now, I have 4 going on right now. And I'm always looking for more deals to rehab, to flip.
Well, you know, we like that Missouri market too. And you find any multi-family stuff in that market that's 100 units or more, let me know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll definitely let you know. I get a lot of leads all the time. So um, there's definitely some good opportunities out here for multifamily.
So obviously you're not on the ground doing rehabs yourself. You have a couple crews.
Right.
Talk a little bit about how your business is structured how you get your rehabs done?
Yeah, so I have great crews. I have a crew of 20 people. And basically, with my scopes of work, we go over the scope of work. They get the job done. On a weekly basis, I do the inspections. So I go there, make sure that, let's say the paint is done, exterior or interior, make sure that the carpet's installed or the hardwood is stained. Um, and then they get paid. Obviously, I submit the draw to my lender and they get paid. So I basically go there once a week, inspect the houses and make sure everything's getting done properly.
Yeah, interesting. And do you flip everything, or do you have fix and holds? Do you hold on to any of your product?
I do both. Some I fix and then sell, and then some I will hold on to as well. So it's both actually. Depends on the property. I mean, as you know, the rents are really higher now. I don't know if that's the case in Chicago, but out here the rents have went up, increased tremendously. Probably
Yeah,
double the rents now.
yeah.
So some I'm keeping and some I'm selling.
It's funny. I don't do much in Chicago. Most of what we do is out of state. So Florida, Texas. We're doing a bunch of multifamily right now in Tulsa. But Monday, I am going to look at a multifamily deal here in one of the northwest suburbs of Chicago, about an hour from downtown. And, you know, it's probably one of the first deals that I've looked at in the Chicago market in 15 years, just because I haven't liked the fundamentals here. I really, when I bring my real estate to the market for my investors, I want to make sure I'm filling three buckets for them: cash flow, long-term wealth, and tax planning strategies. Uh, and I typically can't do that in Chicago, but my underwriter keeps thinking that we're going to be able to do that on this deal. So we're taking a close look at it. So it's interesting though, because I haven't been a big Chicago or Illinois investor. Just some of that too is landlord laws, right? How difficult it can be here to have good relations with your tenants.
Mm-hmm. What's your minimum cap rate that you look for in multifamily?
I don't go by cap rate. What I go by is what's my minimum return that I'm going to be able to provide for my private investors. And if I can't be above a mid-teens return on an annual basis, it's not something that I will even consider. So I don't really look at cap rate until we get into it. Once we get into it and we start underwriting it, yes. But when I do that initial underwriting, or my buy box, so to say, um, how do you use cap rate?
Well, basically, I usually like to be at 9% or over on the cap rate.
On single family stuff?
On multifamily.
On your multifamily?
Yeah.
So in today's market, are you buying all C and D product at 9 caps?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, because I know your A's and B's aren't going to put you in that 9 cap arena. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah. The A's and B's definitely won't put me in that higher cap rate. Yeah. I have an 8-unit building in Missouri, and when I bought it last year, they were only paying around $500 a month. Now we got it. Every tenant is paying $700 a month. Yeah. So I mean, it's doing pretty well.
Yeah, it's interesting how rents have accelerated, and how here's what's funny though, and I want to talk about this because this has really been pressing on me lately. But you look at the rising insurance costs everywhere you go. I don't care if you're on the coast or in the Midwest. Insurance costs have gone up so high.
Yeah.
And people, rents continue to go up. And, people say, oh, rents are getting so expensive and there needs to be rent caps and we need to do rent control. And why? We're not making any more money. If our costs are going up on our operation side, from material costs and expenses and utility costs and labor costs, if all those are going up, rents have to go up.
Yeah.
And, yes, we have a shortage of affordable housing in this country. There's no doubt about that. But even in the affordable housing arena, it's hard to substantiate the bills and the increase in expenses with not being able to push your rent as much as you can in, workforce housing or market rate rent products.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's kind of a catch-22, right? I mean,
Right.
you know, people, I bought a property and when we took it over, the rents were $950 a unit on a 2-bedroom. I thought we could raise them to $1,250. We're getting $1,400 for them, but my insurance has doubled. So have I made any money? Not really, right? So
Right.
as the costs go up, it kind of, are you finding it in your market as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the insurance has gone up and the taxes have gone up as well. They just started doing these assessments on houses, and people were pretty angry because their taxes are going up.
Yeah.
The taxes are going up. I mean, some houses are just, I mean, they're going up, 50 grand upwards in value.
Yeah.
And people are just really upset about it. It helps people for that, the ones that are trying to sell their houses, right? Because they're making a great profit, but the ones that are staying at the houses, the taxes are going up, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we're experiencing that a lot out here right now.
How's that refi going for you on that shopping center?
It's been the most worst experience actually. Using a hard money lender, I signed all the docs, the loan docs, August 4th, and they're supposed to be done this week, hopefully, but it seems like they keep having these conditions
Yeah.
that keep coming up, and then they say, oh, well, thank you, we got this, can you send us an LOI from the Save a Lot grocery store? I sent that to them. So it's like these things keep popping up. They keep popping up. I've never seen nothing like this before.
Yeah.
And what I've learned is what they do, they pitch to an investor with these loan docs, and they see what investor's gonna go after it. That's what I've learned from the course of all this. That's how it's like they shop to investors to buy, to not buy, but to fund the deal.
Right. Yeah, it's like when the package moves from somebody's desk to somebody else's desk, they ask for another piece of documentation on something,
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it's almost like they, in some cases, you think they're trying to prove out their job, but
Exactly.
it's hard to stop in the room.
Yeah, to justify some fee on the settlement statement, right?
That's right. That's right. Hey, so how do people get a hold of you?
They can call me at 816-908-5355. They can also go to my website, coachjasonl.com, send me an email.
Okay. What do you want new investors to know this morning?
I would like them to know that, to take the first step, they have to take action. So don't keep procrastinating. Just go out there and do it, because the only way you're going to get something done is to take action. Don't just spend all this time reading books. You have to actually go out there and get going. You have to do it. You have to start.
Yeah.
You got to make deals. Yeah.
Perseverance, right?
That's right. That's right. You're gonna fail, but when you fail in the beginning, you're gonna succeed as well, because you're gonna learn from those mistakes.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but you got to take action. You have to take action.
So, what's the best book you ever read?
The best book I ever read, I really enjoyed Robert Kiyosaki books. His, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I've also got The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump. I like some of his books as well. Um, as far as mindset goes, I read a lot of those books, Think and Grow Rich, and those are really good books.
Yeah, awesome.
How about you, Mike? Which is your favorite book?
I just read a book a few months ago. I read a book by Tim Grover called Winning. And Tim Grover, it was the personal coach for Michael Jordan,
Oh
Kobe,
yeah, yeah,
LeBron
yeah.
James was coach. And he wrote this book called Winning that just kicked my butt, made me really take another look at my work ethic, my structure, how I do things. So it was a good book. Hey, one more quick question here. Best tourist attraction in Kansas City?
The Plaza's great. It has a lot of restaurants, a lot of good things to do. Uh, Definitely a tourist attraction because it has a lot of great shops too. To shop,
Nice.
some high, very well-known brands like Louis Vuitton, and so the Plaza is great.
Awesome.
Also, looking at the Chiefs Stadium off of I-70, where Mahomes plays in the Chiefs, that's good.
Had to get that in, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Hey, thanks for being here this morning. I appreciate it.
All right.
Always
Thanks,
good to
Mike.
chat. And thanks for listening in this morning, everybody. If we can be of help, you can reach out to Jason. His number's at the bottom of the screen. If I can answer any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Remember, our multifamily summit's coming up. Go to multifamily23.com. Grab your ticket today and have a great